Okay, to start with, I think I need to talk about... Okay, here's one of the things that annoys me mildly, is that most players, most high-level players that I see, they will almost always drive reversal Rashid's enhanced spinning mixer. He'll do this, and then he'll do enhanced mixer, whatever, and then if you respect that on block, if you are forced to block that out, he's +2, he mixes you afterwards, so almost everyone will, after blocking this out, take the guaranteed drive reversal to avoid blocking the rest of it, thus saving a little bit of drive gauge from the extra hits that you're not suffering for it, and also it's guaranteed, and the mix that you would suffer from him being +2 in your face in the corner is much worse, and everyone considers that to be worthwhile. Now here's the thing, this is how I generally measure things. A lot of the time if we come down here, I kind of sort of create I can create like a guesstimation of like the relative frequencies of certain things in an offensive situation, right? So if you do low forward drive rush on block, you get to a mix-up, or you have like an Oki situation, etc. I can measure like conservative estimations for frequencies, how often you do strike, throw, shimmy, etc., any other options. In relativity, I balance them out. I make conservative estimations for assuming how frequently you're landing hits versus when you're wrong, how much you're getting EXDP'd, how much you're baiting and punishing the DPs, etc. And then I take those estimates, those frequencies that I am guesstimating, and then I watch tons of high-level matches and stuff to see how those frequencies match out. You know, I watch matches and I'm like, okay, what frequency, what level of statistics do they actually do strike, throw, shimmy in the same Oki scenario? How often are their throws hitting? How often are they getting backdash? How often are they throw teching, etc.? What is the actual rate of frequency? And I think my estimates that I rate most of these things at with measurements are on the conservative end. Alright, they're pretty conservative. They're about the low end, or close to an average, a little bit lower than the average of what high-level play is, but they're also measured based on minimum estimations. So the values that I'm measuring for a successful meaty strike, etc., are measured based on common minimum expectations. So I am measuring them as in, like, assuming that the combo that you get from them is only a mid-screen combo and doesn't give you the corner, or you don't have supers that you can use, etc. I'm not including any extra value that you might get from any hit that you land. I'm not taking any extra, like, how close are you to the corner, what resources you have, etc. These are just like relatively low-balled estimates, and generally speaking, for most characters, the weakest strike, throw, shimmy, etc. Oki scenario characters are like Dalsum has like the lowest overall values because his strike is quite weak. But most characters, I measure them out to, I don't have to explain like what the numbers basically equate to, but most characters I generally get a readout of about 1,300 or more. Dalsum is like 1,200 for a strike, throw, shimmy guessing scenario, assuming no other factors are going to enhance it or apply or whatever, and assuming a relatively low frequency of him being right on the mix, and also measured based on the least risky options. So that, for Dalsum being 1,200, is measuring based on him doing a walking shimmy rather than floating in front of your face and doing jump heavy kick as his shimmy, because I consider that to be riskier, because if the opponent doesn't tech, then they can just see you floating in your face and then punish you if you're the Dalsum player. So these are measured based on the most consistent, reliable options. For example, like if you're a character that has a shimmy, like Marisa could shimmy with charge, stand heavy punch, but you can't do that's not as safe as just walking backwards, reacting to the throw, and then punishing with something else. So I do it on the most conservative estimates with the safest option available for the basic mix-up. So all these numbers are as they are, And if you think the numbers are too high, I disagree. I think they should probably be higher in most circumstances. This is how much I rate. So this number basically means this is a value estimation for how strong, how much value I think you're getting out of a consistent Oki situation in mid-screen. Okay? So some characters go from like 1300 to 1500, etc. Some characters who have particularly strong Drive Rush Oki get closer to like 19 to 2000 value from their mid-screen Oki, just because their things on block, on hit, and on whatever are just so high in the value that they can pump out for their combos. So like Aki and Juri have like... Aki, Juri, and Ed all have like... Well, it's mostly Aki and Juri have like really, really high Oki value. Zangief, on the hits that he gets Oki from, Zangief and Lily both have quite high Oki value. The other grapplers don't really have as, like, that, like, because they just don't have good mid-screen meaty setups. A lot of, like, so Manon does not have, Manon's Oki value I also rated about 1300, just because her setups are not very good. And her reward on the setups, like her reward if she meaties you or whatever, it's just not that strong, so. But that's also, again, rated at a minimum value, so assuming Metal 1, assuming your combo's not going to get the corner, etc. So my estimations would be lowballing it if we're talking about some of the best Manon players in the world, because, like, the Oki off of here, the actual best, like, meterless Oki that you could get for a strike would be a walk-up, back heavy punch, walk-up, meaty, back heavy punch, and then single hit confirm it on hit into the light hit grab, like that. So that would be optimal. However, if your reactions are not fast enough, if your reactions aren't fast enough and you late cancel it like that, it won't combo. See? So it is possible to have the reactions to hit single hit confirm this into light hit grab by itself, and that would drive up her Oki value a lot higher. But the way I currently measure it is based on her doing that and then single hit confirming into that, because that's much more reliable, even if you late cancel it at the last possible frame. Anyways, you don't care about any of this bullshit. What I'm basically saying is that this is the number that equates to the overall value. Most characters, I rate their drive gauge at about 400, 375 at the low end, 400. Some characters have exceptionally, like, and that drive gauge, the value that you get is kind of all over the place. If you do, like, low forward drive rush, it's worth about 400 drive gauge. You can get it to be much higher than that. If you get, like, a low forward on hit that you weren't expecting, if you get an EXDP to defend yourself from an Oki scenario, then you can get significantly higher value relative to each bar of drive gauge that you're spending. But, like, for example, measuring at 400 per bar of drive gauge is about what most players are willing to spend most of the time. Like, if a player is at 5 bars of drive gauge or whatever, 5 or 6 bars of drive gauge, and they are willing to do something on block, like Manon is willing to do this on block, okay? That means you're perfectly comfortable with getting about 375 to 400 value per bar of drive gauge on a spend. So I measure it at that. Maybe it's a conservative estimate. Generally speaking, most characters cannot get higher value out of combos than 375 or 400. So it's like meterless combos are usually going, if you would rate drive gauge at a higher value than that, it would mean it's basically almost never worth spending drive gauge in combos for most characters. So I rated it this amount because this is relatively realistic to what people actually use it on, even though it is possible to get significantly higher value per bar of drive gauge from certain interactions. So anyways, this all being said, let me just pull up Ken. All of this being said, not every character's drive reversal is built equal. So, just to illustrate this point, reversal after damage, light punch, block after first hit. So if you just land a random drive reversal with Manon, you get dog-ass nothing from this, okay? You're plus 23. Here's the thing. This is the funny thing about this, is that in the final version of Street Fighter V, they had the V-shift, which if you held it off of the parry effect, you would go into the follow-up hit, and that would get a knockdown that was specifically designed so that if you did a dash up, it was like -2, I think. I forget the exact, but that was, so the frame data was different for every character, because different characters have different speeds of dashing. It was always made so that you could get a forward dash with your character and be -2. That is not how this works. This is always plus 23 unless it hits an airborne. So because it's always plus 23, characters with worse, slower forward dashes are not as plus when they dash up. Manon has to use drive reversal because she doesn't have any XTP and she has like whatever supers. So a lot of players, if they get drive reversal from Manon, they'll just neutral tech like this so they don't lose extra space. That being said, she can actually threaten you here if you were to neutral tech and she was relatively close when she did drive reversal you. She can dash up and just immediately mix you because she can just do this, do like light kick drive rush, try to stand medium punch, single hit confirm, etc. So it's much safer to recover backwards, and if you do recover backwards, she gets nothing. There's obviously no way that she can do a drive rush into anything effective. She gets absolutely nothing. Whereas, let's take fucking bonkers-ass drive reversal Blanca. He can literally forward dash, and he's +4 or whatever, and he can just meaty you regular. He doesn't even need a drive rush. He can just dash up and do medium kick electricity as a meaty. But if he does drive rush, he can go all the way into meaty, back medium kick, drive rush, forward medium kick, he's in range for a throw, meaty back, meaty stand heavy kick, he can combo off of this, etc. The perfect thing to do is a back medium kick. Now, Blanca's drive rush is kind of weird, because if you press your button immediately, you don't get a good speed boost. If you press your button later, you don't get a good speed boost, as you can see. But there's a little middle zone here, a little bit after you start your drive rush, where if you press your thing, you get a big speed boost all of a sudden. Right there, as you can see, and now I'm way closer to Jury afterwards. So, basically, Blanca, at any close range drive reversal he lands, he can just immediately get drive rush Oki, and then +6 on block, he can throw, he can do another back medium kick. This is ridiculous, okay? This is a ridiculous situation, and he gets ridiculous options off of this, as opposed to Manon, who cannot even land a meaty after her drive reversal. So, drive reversals are in no way made equal in this game. And so, because of that fact, I have painstakingly measured every single thing in the game that you get a guaranteed drive reversal on after blocking or certain scenarios, and judged loosely what every character can do after their drive reversal. I have demarcated with an asterisk drive reversals that are better if they hit further away instead of drive reversals that are better if they're closer. So if Jamie, right, if you land your drive reversal, you want to steal a drink after, it's better if the opponent was hit further away from you. Okay, let's say Guile does fucking Sobot, right? Okay? Sobot is a guaranteed drive reversal point. So you can block it, see it, and then just drive reversal, and the farther away he is, the safer it is to pick up a drink. So the asterisk ones are ones where the value gets higher if it's used further away. So the zoning characters, or any character that wants to pick up a buff, like a drink or whatever, or reuse Denjin Charge after they land their drive reversal. And so I have sort of roughly estimated, based on my calculations, how much value I think is gotten from just the raw drive reversal by itself. Assuming that these basic values are assuming that you're relatively close. Not point blank, but just close when you land your drive reversal. So the characters that get jack shit nothing, usually around -650 to -700. That's like how much you're losing in value by spending the drive reversal. So it's like, you get nothing, you get a little bit of screen carry, you get potential damage, which in this game, it's very fucking weird that drive reversals, when they hit, deal potential damage, because in this game, unlike in Street Fighter V, where it made way more sense, because if the opponent blocks your normals in Street Fighter V, blocks your mediums, your heavies, they build up gray life, okay? As opposed to this game, where there's not even chip damage, which means that as soon as you drive reversal them, they take potential damage, they take 500 damage, but they immediately start regenerating that health, and you can't even stop them from regenerating it by making them block anything, because there's no chip damage, there's no potential damage, there's no mechanics like that make it stop regenerating unless you actually hit them. So the only characters that can make any real use out of that potential damage are characters that get Oki or can threaten Oki after their drive reversals. So the characters that can get Oki after their drive reversals, to greater or lesser extents, Blanka has by far the best one in the game. Blanka's is literally value positive to get his drive reversal. It is value positive to like a significant degree, where it's literally worth, if you block any random like heavy punch or something, it is literally worth it for Blanka to just take the guaranteed drive reversal on that, just because he immediately gets a knockdown and screen carry and Oki, no matter what the opponent does. So I have measured what the characters can do and put them into a couple main categories. Characters that get dog water fucking nothing from their drive reversals. At the top, I have characters that get such good Oki and options off of their drive reversals that they should probably use it even just for the sake of using it. Literally, if you get a guaranteed place to use it, just use it, because you get good option. So, the freest one, period, is Blanka. Blanka's is incomparable to anyone else's. Rashid's is really good, but it's not quite as good as Blanka's. The thing is that Blanka and Juri, their Oki is best if the opponent was hit by the drive reversal at quite close range. Rashid and Mai both get Oki even if the drive reversal hits from really far away, but their Oki is not quite as good. Their drive rush button is not quite as good, because they're only like +1 on block instead of +2 or more. But these four are all characters that they can do a drive reversal, then do a drive rush meaty button, and they're plus in throw range. These are all characters that can just do that. Rashid also, obviously, if you're kind of near the corner and you have level 2, you can just take any guaranteed drive reversal point, any heavy punch, whatever, block it, drive reversal, level 2, now you're winning, etc. So here's the thing. Guile, it's like, does Guile get anything after this Sobot? Does Guile get anything after this forward medium kick? No. So it's not like you're avoiding any dangerous situation by doing this drive reversal. It's not like it's necessary defensively. But maybe if you play a character whose neutral is so ass against Guile that it's worth it to do this because you get some kind of Oki from it, then that could be considered a way to do that. Jamie has kind of a multitude of options, because he can do drive rush forward heavy kick and meaty from anywhere, so he gets a true meaty, or it'll trade with 4-framers, at which point he gets a huge combo. So he can do this from really far away. If he has level 2, then it's free as fuck, and it's probably worth him doing it, especially in matchups where he doesn't want to go back to just neutral. Like, if he loses neutral hard against Guile, I don't know if he does, I don't play Jamie, but if he did, then why not do that? Okay, and then next, so these are the characters that get lower value from their drive reversals, but some value, kind of depends. Aki, if she's very close, can get good drive rush meaties, or if you're further away, maybe you want to set up the light bubble and then drive rush behind it. They have a multitude of options, these characters. So these are situations where it's like, let's say, okay, this is a great example. Luke stand heavy punch. Okay, if Luke comes in with stand heavy punch, unlike Ryu's or Ken's or whatever, his stand heavy punch is kind of bad on block, so rarely ever will you see Luke just do stand heavy punch into nothing, no cancel. Best case scenario for you, defending against Luke, is if you auto drive reverse, you block this and commit to drive reversaling, and he commits to drive rushing. Because if you just block and then automatically drive reversal, he can't deal with this. The only way he would be able to stop it is if, like, a delayed reaction super, which isn't even that bad for you, because he won't get Oki from his supers, and also literally no player will ever do that ever. I will fucking eat my own shoe if you ever get punished for drive reversaling this. If they drive rush into a super. I will fucking send me footage of it. I will eat my own shoe. I will carve it up. I will put dressing on it. So anyways, the point is that because you know he's gonna cancel it into something, usually a fireball like this, the light fireball will be a true block string, thus not giving you an opportunity to perfect parry and punish it like that. So, because you know he's going to go into something, maybe medium, light, or heavy fireball. Let's just assume he does light fireball like this. Because you know you're about to block something else, and as such you're going to lose more drive gauge. You're going to lose a little bit of a big chunk more drive gauge for blocking this, and he's also going to regen more drive gauge for getting it on block. Because of that, it's not... When you drive reversal, you're saving a little extra value on top of the fact that you're drive reversaling. You're saving yourself from having to block that fireball. He doesn't get the drive gauge from it. You don't lose the drive gauge for blocking it, and you get the value of whatever your drive reversal is. So this is an example of a drive reversal point that is minor extra value. I have put every single guaranteed drive reversal point, and I put them into high value ones. These are ones that every character, even the most dog ass like Manon or whatever, you should be drive reversaling these almost every single time, or at least most of these. Some of them are a little bit different. Some of them, like my EX fan or whatever, it's like whatever, but like a lot of these are guaranteed drive reversal points where you are blocking them. They're going to be plus in your face, mixing you up. It's not worth it to take the mix up. Again, spending a drive reversal for the worst character is going to be like losing 700 points of value. Whereas taking their mix up, taking their Oki, is going to be usually at least 1,000 value for them. So 700, less than 1,000, you should drive reversal these points. These are examples of places where even if you have a dog shit drive reversal, you should drive reversal because it's guaranteed and it's worth it to get out of the mix-up that you would otherwise be in. Okay? And this again pisses me off because, like, light mixer, enhanced light mixer for Rashid is on my list. Obviously, it's no different from most of the other things that I've listed here, but for some reason, this is the only thing that people consistently drive reversal. You should be doing that same thing for all of these things. So anyways, high value, these are things that you should drive reversal if your drive gauge is healthy every fucking time. Moderate value. Now these are things that you should drive reversal depending on how valuable your drive reversal is. So these are things that if you have a decent drive reversal, as in like Dalsim, okay, if you want to use a guaranteed drive reversal point and then you win neutral, like Dalsim or Guile or something, or you get to charge a setup, like Honda can take Sumo Spirit if you don't have it already, etc. Or a character can throw out a fireball, maybe, etc. It depends on how good you think getting a fireball into neutral is kind of different. Or if you get a drive rush into a meaty that's not like a great meaty, but it's still, you have options. You have Oki options, just not amazing options. These are guaranteed drive reversal places where you should drive reversal if you are a character with those okay drive reversals. Moderate value, slight value, these are like tiny instances where like your drive reversal is going to get just its own value plus a little bit extra, probably. So like Aki stand heavy kick, right? So it's like Aki, when she does stand heavy kick, she's probably going to cancel it into coward crouch, at which point you kind of have to deal with a slight mix-up, or you're going to have to block the coward crouch kicks, at which point you're losing more drive gauge, etc., and she's building more, or she's going to cancel it into Light Serpent Lash or Light Fireball, etc. So there's a little bit of guessing involved, and also you're going to lose more drive gauge from any one of those options. So just taking the guaranteed drive reversal on the stand heavy kick itself saves you a slight amount of value. Maybe it's literal value, as in you're not blocking more drive gauge. Maybe it's conceptual value. For example, Zangief stand medium punch, right? If doing the drive reversal will get you out of an awkward situation, for example, like here, okay? If Zangief does stand medium punch, you don't know whether or not he's going to do the second one, okay? Which will frame trap you if you try to take your turn with a medium. So, because there's a little bit of a guess involved here, where he could do this, and then he could... And then he has options here. Like, you don't want to be in this position blocking this button from Zangief, okay? So, because there's a slight guessing scenario where maybe Zangief has the advantage on his frame trap option or on his spacing trap options, etc. If Zangief has the spacing trap slash frame trap slash guessing whatever option, I would consider that a slight to a moderate amount of value. So if you block his stand medium punch at kind of close footsies range, I would consider that worth drive reversaling, taking the guaranteed drive reversal on his stand medium punch, which if you did not know, it is. It's guaranteed. I would consider taking that guaranteed drive reversal if you're a character that gets a decent value out of their drive reversal. So Luke, Jamie, maybe JP, depends on how you measure superiority in neutral. Cammy, Ken, Aki, etc. And then maybe kind of Mai. If Mai has flame stocks active, then I think it overall improves the value of her drive reversal, because her options post drive reversal, you have significantly more options when you in flame stock, because you get to do, after your drive reversal, you get to do drive rush heavy punch into charge fan, and they can't DI this. You get to do... You have better close range options as well. Musasabi is safer. And then you also have, of course, Light Fan becomes way better as an option to take after a knockdown, because if you don't have flame stocks, the opponent can just punch the fireball, the fan, and just eliminate it, but they can't do that in flame stock. So you get a 2-hit fireball that can't be eliminated in the same way, which is like really good for your approach. So because you get much stronger options when you're in flame stock, I rate her at about 450 value here when you don't have flame stock, and maybe about 550 when you do have flame stock, which would put her closer. I just literally made that number up out of my head. I've not done math for it like I have for these other numbers, but I would consider it, yeah, that to be a pretty clear thing. I have put an asterisk on the characters where these interactions happen constantly. So for example, and those points include blocking, drive rush, suppressor. I consider this a good guaranteed point. Almost every single character who has a drive rush overhead, except for Chun-Li, if you block it, they're going to be plus on block. People are really stupid about +1. Most of the drive rush overheads are +1 on block. And then people are like, oh, only +1. Trust me, you are eating the mix in +1. I have watched your fucking play. You are guessing wrong on +1s. Or, sorry, you are guessing wrong when the opponent is +1. You're getting thrown, you're getting shimmied. Shut the fuck up. Okay, +1 is a threat. You should drive reversal this. You should take that guaranteed drive reversal. Shut the fuck up. I am so fucking sick of hearing these dumbass takes about how +1 is not threatening offense. Shut the fuck up. Oh, another thing. This has always bothered me about Noah the Prodigy's play, is that he loves doing, like, because he doesn't like Luke's other meaty options because they're not as high reward on regular strike, non-counter hit strike. If he does this, he only gets like a weak combo off of this, which is why Noah the Prodigy loves doing just... You'll see him just do point-blank Stand Fierce Drive Rush. In the corner, here's the thing. If Luke ever does Stand Fierce point-blank on you, you obviously know he's going to cancel it into something. He cannot stay safe without him canceling it. He's probably going to do Drive Rush, so as soon as you block the heavy punch, take the guaranteed drive reversal. I love Noah the Prodigy, by the way. I think more people should play in his style. I'm just saying that, like, that is something that people could do about if they, like, thought about it for longer than 2 seconds. People have a lot of weird assumptions about how much value things are worth. Like, I've seen a lot of weird, like, okay, for example, a lot of people seem to think that, like, landing a level 3 on, like, a scaled-ass fucking combo, scaled to minimum scaling, people seem to think that landing a level 3 in a combo like that, for which the level 3, for most characters, gives you less corner carry than taking the regular combo, gives you a worse Oki setup, because it usually leaves you a little bit further away. Most characters have to drive rush to get a meaty. And, like, people, for some reason, seem to think that spending all 3 of your super bars on that is somehow worth more than landing, like, some confirm into a level 1 in mid-screen, even though when you actually do the basic math, it's not complicated math, you just take the number that you get out of something and divide it by 3 to understand how much value you're getting per bar of super. The rate of value that you get per bar of super is much higher in other interactions. If Luke lands a raw level 1 to react to a fireball in mid-screen, the value he's getting, the damage and other factors that he's getting per bar of super, significantly higher than he's getting for a scaled combo into a 50% scaled level 3. So anyways, and that applies to drive gauge as well. Like, a lot of people just naturally think that drive reversal is not worth as much as it literally fucking is. Like, there are so many places where people have healthy drive gauge. It's not like they're worried about being burnt out. They block something that is like a guaranteed mix-up point, where if they don't drive reversal, they're going to immediately have to take a guess right away. And they just won't fucking drive reversal because their brains can't do the basic math to see that it's obviously worth drive reversaling. Fucking drive reversal these things. The math is quite simple. Well, okay, some of these characters have other ways that they could try to bait out your drive reversal if you do it too much. Like, for example, Kimberly could do this and then it go into, like, a cheeky fucking, like, teleport. So some characters are capable on their special cancelable buttons of avoiding it. Not Heavy Kick, because she can't cancel Heavy Kick in anything. So the characters that can technically hard call out your drive reversal are, like, Kimberly with teleports. Some characters, if they are really hardballing, there are, like, Twitter clips of, like, Ryu doing stand heavy punch into, like, light DP or something to, like, go over the drive reversal and make it whiff. There are, like, ridiculous callouts like that. But then Cammy can do Hooligan off of some of her buttons, and Akuma can do Demon Flip off of his, like, usually stand heavy punch is a guaranteed drive reversal point unless he does light Demon Flip and goes over it. But also not all drive reversals hit the same. Some of them have different hitboxes. So anyways, so for Kimberly, any drive rush, heavy kick, regular heavy kick, it's sort of questionable because she's +2. If you're in the corner, definitely. Block this, just get her off of you. Drive reversal this, guaranteed. In mid-screen, because she's not close enough to throw you, she just mostly gets a frame trap, but it's your choice. And also, she can't check you low with, like, this full thing. So, because there's ways out of this mix, and it's not quite the same as, like, true strike throw shimmy mix, maybe you won't consider it a guaranteed point if you have, like, a dog-ass drive reversal like Manon or Zangief. Maybe just hold that, but yeah, drive rush, heavy kick, obviously. Drive rush overhead, guaranteed. Drive reversal that. Corner, heavy kick, drive reversal that, etc. Lily, if she does drive rush button meaty in front of you, just hard, drive reversal it. So a close range, drive rush, crouch, heavy punch. All of her wind spires on block, all of them, drive reversal them, guaranteed. You are fucking stupid if you don't drive reversal. If you only, okay, for one, it makes literally no logical sense to only drive reversal the EX wind spire and not the regular wind spire. Like, yes, the EX is +2, so it's more threatening, technically, but, like, you're still guessing. You are still gambling and guessing against a grappler in the close range when you block the regular spire. You're still letting her get extra corner carry by having the spire continue on block, etc. Especially the heavier spires. Like, if you block heavy spire, you could drive reversal immediately and stop her from getting that corner carry and the extra hits. It makes no logical sense to only drive... I've heard a lot of people, and this is like, it makes no logical sense, but a lot of people probably think this way. They're like, I don't like drive reversaling the regular spire, because at least when I drive reversal the EX spire, she loses the interaction, because we both lose 2 bars of drive gauge. Now, that's not entirely true, because drive gauge technically doesn't work like that. Like, you're both spending 2 bars of drive gauge, but EX and drive reversal have different amounts of lingering drive gauge penalty, and also a drive gauge penalty can be overlapped with additional spending, so whoever spent their drive gauge the last and thus gets to spend drive gauge immediately afterwards, especially if your drive reversal gives you drive gauge drive rush into some sort of meaty or oki scenario, then you're actually saving drive gauge overall compared to Lily, who is spending effectively 2.5 bars of drive gauge, whereas if you do a drive reversal immediately into a drive rush, you're technically spending like 4.6 bars of drive gauge, but you're overlapping them in such a way that you're technically only spending 4 bars of drive gauge or less. If you add in the extra... I know most of you have no fucking idea what I'm talking about, but mathematically, it doesn't make... Like, it's not the same thing. So, it makes no sense, because, okay, here's the thing. Like, it makes no sense to be like, oh, I don't want to spend drive gauge if she's not spending drive gauge. Why? That doesn't make any sense. You spend drive gauge based on whether it's worth it for you to spend that drive gauge. And stopping her from getting more hits of the spire and getting a mix-up on you is worth your drive gauge. Period. It doesn't matter if she's spending drive gauge or not. Is it worth it for you to spend it that way? Literally fucking yes. JP... when he puts you up in the corner, right? And then you're going to block and you're going to try to drive reversal. Let's say he does this. He can do like stand heavy punch into a teleport into punishing your drive reversal. Now, how he lands from this teleport will be different depending on the drive reversal that he's punishing. But here's the thing. So this is kind of a threatening... This can be threatening and a reason why you might not want to in case he hard calls it out. And he doesn't even have to hard call it out. Like, he can just do the teleport... Like, there are reasons why he would do this, even without a hard call-out, but if you block heavy kick, he cannot special cancel, so he cannot teleport off of this. There is nothing he can do to avoid your drive reversal. Here. So if he sets up a window and he does heavy kick, just fucking drive reversal. It's literally free. Bison, as long as it's not a meaty... as long as it doesn't hit on its meaty active frames, back heavy kick, guaranteed drive reversal spot. This drives me up the fucking wall more than anything. Taking one of the characters with one of the strongest offensive potential in the game, who has like the most like lethal corner game, you block back heavy kick, and you're not fucking drive reversaling. Even though it's a guaranteed drive reversal spot. You're not just taking that guaranteed. What bothers me even more is, you block a special that's going to detonate the bomb, and then he's going to be plus, and he's going to mix you up, and you're not drive reversaling this hit. You're letting the bomb explode, which builds you a big chunk more drive gauge, takes way more of your drive gauge away, and you have to suffer the mix. Drive reversal this shit. It is obviously worthwhile for literally every character in the game to just fucking drive reversal that. And then for Mai, this is important for Mai. This is the reason why I've been meaning to do this video for a while, but the reason why I wanted to bring it up now is because no matter, even if it hits on the very last active frame, drive reversal is guaranteed on back heavy kick for Mai. So anytime you're in the corner, you block a meaty back heavy kick, drive reversal that shit. Anytime you're in mid-screen, you block a drive rush back heavy kick, drive reversal that shit. You should also probably drive reversal, drive rush crouch heavy punch, and drive rush stand heavy punch if it's close. It's the same guessing scenario. She is +1 here off of drive rush heavy punch if she's close to you, so she can frame trap you with a 4-framer, she can check you low, or she can throw you. Oops. Oh, and this should go without saying, but a lot of people don't do this. If you ever block anything that's a guaranteed drive reversal point near the corner, fucking drive reversal it.